because we know special education is tough. Working with those new teachers have been a win. That's one of the things that I really enjoy most because I feel like just like when we're working with our students, we kind of get to mold those
Yeah.
teachers and make sure that we're setting them up for success. So that's one of the things that I really think that is a win for Georgia.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brighter Together podcast. My name is Janet Courtney, and my special guest today is Dr. Damita James. Dr. Damita James is the Georgia Learning Resource System Director at the Georgia Regional Education Service Agency, which is in Warner Robbins, Georgia. And that's not a mouthful. So, Dr. James, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me, Courtney. I appreciate it.
So tell us a little bit about what the Georgia Learning Resource System is and your role and a little bit about your agency.
So I serve as, and so just to keep it from being a mouthful, the Georgia Learning Resources System, GLRS for short, is a regional special education um, support system for the districts in the various regions throughout Georgia. In Georgia, there are 18 GLRSs, and we just support anywhere between 5 to maybe even 20 school districts, depending on the size of the districts.
Mm-hmm.
And there's programs that they are providing for students with disabilities. So we do training, professional learning, and technical assistance, when it comes to making sure that things are being done according to IDEA and compliance. But we also, really work on working with the teachers and the leaders within those districts and providing them with that level of support that they need in order to be effective in their jobs that they are doing.
Awesome. Awesome. So when I think about like Atlanta, like is there multiple systems in Atlanta, or is that like, because Atlanta's just so big. I'm curious about how did they divide that up and how did they decide to divide that up?
So we're all the way through Georgia. So from the north part of Georgia to the
Mm-hmm.
south, to the coast, to the west.
Mm-hmm.
So Atlanta, of course, is separated in those places as well. Um, Atlanta actually is only separated, like the city of Atlanta is really kind of small, but the metropolitan part of
Politan area,
Atlanta,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, is really probably separated in three, you
Oh,
know,
gotcha. Okay.
um, parts. So there is a Metro West, there's a Metro East, and then there's a Metro South
Okay.
um, for um, the Atlanta area. And so then there are GLRSs in those areas. But then
Gotcha.
we have, like I said, throughout the state. So
Yeah.
18 across across the state of Georgia. So
And I'm please don't anybody who's outside of Atlanta, I'm not excluding you. I was just curious because Atlanta is so big. That's why I was wondering. So I got the privilege to go to the G case. Okay, now G case is Georgia. Tell me.
Council, Georgia Council of Administrators of Special Education.
Yeah, thank you. I should know that. It should run off my tongue.
Yeah.
But I got to go to Savannah, and that's where Dr. James and I met. And Savannah is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. It was such a lovely trip. So please, Georgia, don't think that I only know Atlanta because it's a beautiful state. It's an absolutely gorgeous state, and it was such a lovely trip. And just to see the people there and to meet them and to just, it's like you can always tell. At least I think I can tell, I'm making assumptions, but when I'm at these conferences and the people that just are so passionate about special education and about serving kids, and that was so evident in Georgia. It was just, and it was a great time. We had so much fun. You guys know how
Mhm.
to play as well.
Yeah.
It's hard
Yeah.
work, so we work hard, we play
That's
hard,
right.
but it was super super fun to be there. And so that's how Damita and I got to know each other a little bit, and now she's on my show. So I love that. So I'm still learning. So tell me a little bit about what would you say are some of the biggest wins that you guys are having right now?
Well, one of the things that we are doing across the state is we're supporting those new teachers, those new special education teachers. So we kind of work in conjunction with the Georgia Department of Education, and with that, we have been given funding to provide teachers with coaching and professional learning for those teachers who are coming new to the field of special education. So we are really targeting those 0 to 3 year teachers because we know one, the retention rates of teachers are really low, and so we're really trying to give them the tools and the the support that they need as new people coming into the field, that they would want to stay in and be able to really be able to do the job that we're asking, because we know
Mm,
special education is tough.
yeah.
Working with those new teachers have been a win. That's one of the things that I really enjoy most, because I feel like just like when we're working with our students, we kind of get to mold those
Yeah.
teachers and make sure that we're setting them up for success. So that's one of the things that I really think that is a win for Georgia. Um, Another thing that we're doing is really, I think this is going across the country as well, is the literacy movement. Literacy has been a really big push, especially after COVID. And so, trying to get everybody on that, that mode of being able to do what they need to do as far as assessing those students and then providing them with the level of interventions that are needed in order for them to be effective and be proficient readers. So,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You have to learn to read before you, and then you read to learn, right? Yeah.
yeah,
It's a
that's
big
right.
one. It's a big one. Yeah, absolutely. And I was actually, believe it or not, I struggled when I was a little. This is
Yeah.
long, long, long time ago, 70s. But I remember after I think it was second grade going into third grade, they had me do summer school because I wasn't reading as well. And I never loved to read. I never was I remember my brothers being big readers. I'm a huge reader now. And as an adult, I've I became well, but I went through that. I went through that, and I didn't love to read. And then because I didn't love to read, but I was smart, it was one of those things that I struggled with as a child, and then learned, got better, learned, became an adult, realized how incredibly important it was, and became a fanatical reader. And now my kids are all excellent readers because I'm a speech therapist and I wanted to be
Yeah.
good readers. But I get that struggle. I mean, it's something. I'm 58 years old and I still remember. And I didn't know what was wrong. I didn't know there was anything wrong with me. I just knew I had to go to summer school. I didn't know it was specifically related to being having trouble reading. But yeah, even back in, no, that would have been in early 70s, like 72, 73, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But just it was a problem. It's a problem that needs to be addressed, and we need our kids and to be literate, right? It's just, yeah, it's like you have to do that before, we talk about making sure they graduate from high school. Let's make sure they can read first, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the
Yeah.
statistics are alarming when you really think about it. The percentage of kids who literally are not able to read um, beyond like a third grade level.
Mhm.
Um, and so when you're talking about, it's over 50% in some places. And so it really
Mm.
is a big initiative that we are definitely having to tackle. So that's one of the new things that I know that we are really kind of working on, in addition to just trying to make sure that the teachers have, like I said, the level of support that they need
Yeah.
in order for them to be able to have the skills to teach that as well. So,
Yeah, it's a vicious cycle, isn't it? It is a vicious cycle. If we can't keep the teachers and we can't, because, you get teachers in and then they leave, you train them and then they leave and then you have to train them again. And yeah, so yeah, I don't have the answer. I don't have all the answers. I wish I did, but I don't know. Yeah. So,
We're still
so
figuring it.
yeah, but you are. I mean, that's the thing and that's part of the reason why we're here, why we're talking about it, because we're brighter together, right? That's the whole point of the podcast is talking about the wins, talking about the struggles, talking about what you guys are doing and showing the world. Oh, or at least the United States that, hey, it's like people talk about how bad education is and what a bad job education's doing and blah, 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 blah. But there are people every single day that are fighting this fight, and it's a good fight. It's a fight for our next generation. And yeah, so kudos to you and the work that you are doing. So is it working? What are some of that? Kind of outcomes are you guys seeing from what you're doing?
We are. I don't have my exact numbers, I will say, but the teacher retention program that we've been doing, I've been a part of that for the last 6 years, and
Mm, hmm.
so I'm real big on relationships with our with people, period, and so I do feel that it has allowed us to develop those relationships with teachers in our various districts that we would not have normally probably worked
Mm,
with.
hmm.
Um, but then it becomes a part of them being able to trust, and then they know that you're a viable resource for them, which is
Right.
hence the Georgia resources,
Yes,
system.
absolutely.
And so that
I love that.
so they do um, tend to kind of come back because we become a trusted source for them. So when they have questions, when things come up that they don't feel always comfortable, talking to someone in their district because they don't want to make it seem as if they are, you know, not as smart or,
Mhm, mhm,
and
mhm.
they feel like they have somebody and some people who they can rely on. And then with that is that we see a lot of them are repeaters for various trainings that we may offer. So yes, as far as the retention, I couldn't give you, like, I wouldn't necessarily say that was 95% of our
No, I
people
get that,
have,
yeah.
been retained. But at the same time, I do feel that we have developed that sense of purpose in those teachers, and then they get to see and work with people who they that like my team and we have over 150 years of educational experience. So they see
Mm.
us as viable
Yeah,
resources for them,
right.
and they see what could be. Like, and we talk to them all the time about the the power that we have as an educator and how important our role is as an educator and the difference that we are really making in the lives of, not only our students, but the community and the world that we're serving in. And so I see that impact. So when you ask about, what does it look like? It's more than just the
Oh, yeah.
numbers. It's
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 yeah.
it's more,
Kids yeah.
it's yeah, it's about the impact that we're making
Mhm.
as a whole and what those teachers are being able to take back in their various schools or districts in their support and work with their students.
There's a big difference between being supported by somebody who's walked in your shoes and someone who hasn't. At Lighthouse Therapy, our leadership team is made of experienced clinicians who've actually worked in schools. We understand the pressure you're under and what real support looks like. That's why our therapy solutions, whether it be virtual, hybrid, or in person, are built with you in mind. No complicated systems or red tape, just streamlined support and seasoned therapists who are ready to make a difference. Learn more at lighthouse-therapy.com/brighter together. One student, one teacher, it doesn't matter, one at a time, right? It's like the guy on the beach where all of the sand or starfish have been, you know, up, what do they call, washed ashore, and the little kid goes up to the guy and says, he's tossing them back out into the water one at a time, and he's like, why are you doing that, right? Why are you doing that? You surely can't save them all. He's like, nope, but I just saved that one, and I just saved that one, and every single one counts. Every single, such a Yeah. So one of the things I wanted to tell you about, I had a couple of guests on the other day, and it just really correlates exactly with what you were talking about. Um, Dr. Ashley Kolb and Dr. Valerie Herm, they are directors of special education and pupil services at Neenah Joint School District in Neenah, Wisconsin. I'm looking at it. I looked it up because I just like 3 podcasts prior to you. Same thing. It's like you're in Georgia doing this thing. They are piloting a program, and they're actually inviting the special education teachers off site. Like, because what you were just talking about, not wanting to feel like, oh gosh, I don't want to ask because I don't want to be seen as not having the answer. And so they've developed this program, and they're trying to take away some of that stigma and that concern that teachers have that, gosh, I should know, I should know, I shouldn't need this, and yet by giving that relation, that ability, what you were just talking about, giving them an opportunity to have that relationship and that trust, and by taking the worry of, someone's going to overhear me at the school that I'm not doing a good job or that I'm struggling, they've taken it off site, and they're starting to, it's an infancy program, but it's the same kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I love the correlation there, that people are just seeing that our new teachers, and even some of our seasoned teachers, are just struggling because there's constant change, there's constant abuse, and I don't mean that in a physical abuse, but like abuse from society, of the things that, you're a teacher, you guys are failing. And I'm sure people feel that. And then that's why podcasts, why we're doing this, right? To get the good things out there. But it's just, it's really encouraging to me as just somebody that's also in the industry, but I don't get the day to day like you do,
Right.
to help them. It's critical.
Yeah, one of the things that we always say whenever we're meeting with groups of teachers, and the induction level teachers are just one group. I do have another group of teachers that I meet that are seasonal teachers because, like you said, we saw the need that they are needing, some more enrichment than just uh, maybe just curriculum things that are happening in their districts or procedural things that are happening. But let's get down to some real strategies and practices that you can actually implement in your classroom. So, but we tell them when they come into this setting is that we're like Vegas. So what happens in here stays in here, and that this is
Mm-hmm.
a safe space. And so, like,
Right.
even if you're in here with some other colleagues from your district or your school, this is not a place for you to go back and say, oh, haha, I can't believe I heard Sharon said
Yeah.
da 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 da. Because that's not what we're here for. We're all here and we're learning together. So, and I think that it kind of gives them a sense of relief as well to say that, okay, no questions are stupid. And I may make a
Mm-hmm.
little joke, with them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, y'all are like killing me, but they know that it's coming
Right.
from a place of love, but but yeah, they feel that
Mm-hmm.
when it's all over, and when they leave there, they know like, okay, I know you said this, but but what about this again? So they
Mm-hmm.
they have individual coaches that they can reach out, and like I said, I have a team, so it's not just me.
Mm-hmm.
It's me and my team of coaches who are going out supporting this work.
That's great. That's really, really great. And you can tell too. I mean, you're California. Listen to me, Georgia. I'm talking. I don't know where California came, but Georgia Department of Education is funding this. Is helping. I mean, it's like there is a recognition at higher levels that there is a need that is not being met, that you guys can hopefully meet, so that we can retain these teachers and show them that it's okay to stay in education. Nobody's going to be a
Yes.
millionaire by choosing to be a special education teacher, are they?
No, but but what we tell them is that there are a lot of great rewards. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know what other states offer as far as their retirement system, but Georgia has a really good retirement system, for educators. And because of that change and that need of retaining teachers, they have done a lot of different things. and really trying to work on attracting,
Attracting. Yep.
attracting teachers and retaining those teachers. So even if you are a retired educator, there are places and opportunities for you to come back and even work full time while you're still getting your retirement. So
Wow.
it's various things that they have put in place. Um, so, we have this whole Teach in the Peach um,
Georgia Peach.
programs. Yeah, so if anybody wants to look at like what Georgia is doing, go to the Teach in the Peach. You can search that and you will find all about our teacher retention. And that's on the general ed side and, the special ed side. So you can just kind of see those numbers and everything about what we're doing here in Georgia.
Very cool. Very, very cool. So one other question I have is if you could, this is the last one, I promise. If you could fix just one thing in your world of what you do, just miraculously fix it. Can't be money. We all know that there's never enough money in education. But if you could fix one thing, Damita, what would that one thing be?
I think that one thing would be um, taking some of the stress off of our educators.
Hmm.
Um, and and I say that because I think that not only are they inundated with, the workload and but they also have to deal with, behavioral issues. And then they also have to deal with um, the expectations of others, and thinking that
Right.
they are not doing what they need to do as an educator. So that pressure of, what parents are looking for and what maybe the leaders are expecting and then the truth of what is happening or
Hmm.
in that classroom setting on a day-to-day basis. If I could erase that level of stress where they could just only teach,
Yeah.
I think that that would be amazing.
Yeah, because it's not the same. I mean, it's like what they're dealing with today, even if we go back to the 70s when I was a kid, being in education and being a teacher, not the same as, I mean, that's 40 years ago now. It's probably more than that. Someone's going to do my
Sure.
math for me and go, no, that's 50 years. Yeah, it is 50 years ago. Okay, I'm an old woman. What do you want from me? It's 50 years ago, but 50 and I mean, but if you think about like the time of history and you think about just even the last 50 years, the amount of change and the amount of difference in our society and in the kids and what they're confronted with versus what we did in the 70s, it's a different world. It's a totally
It
different world.
is.
So and you can be a teacher for 40 years and go, yeah, I get it. I'm done. I'm ready to retire. I understand that. But we value the people that are fighting the good fight and working to keep teachers. And for the teachers, thank you. I don't know if I've ever said that on this show, but thank you, teachers, for all of the hard work because it's hard. It's a hard
Hmm.
profession and makes
Yeah.
me emotional. Look at me, I'm getting emotional about something because it matters.
Yeah.
It just really
Yeah.
matters. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and when you see the struggles, and those are the things that you can't control when, like you try to
Mhm.
help them build some resilience, but
Yeah.
the truth of the matter is that they're walking a really hard path.
Yeah.
And I think that that level of compassion from society as far as what a teacher is and what a teacher brings to the table is so important. And I think that,
Yeah.
when you're walking into a role where almost feel like nobody is supporting you,
Yeah.
it's hard to keep going when things are already hard. And
Uh-huh.
so, if I had one message that I would say to, people out in the world, I would say, give people grace and be
Mhm.
compassionate, have some empathy, because just like teachers are people
Yeah.
and that they have lives and things that are going on as well. And so we have to just be great, give some grace as to what that may look like. And on an everyday basis. So that would be my final little
Yeah.
word, I guess I would say.
Absolutely. It makes me think of It's a Wonderful Life, and when he yells at the teacher for sending poor Zuzu home without a jacket, and her husband rightfully is not happy and punches him in the face for being a jerk. He was quite a jerk to her. Now he's going through something, but still, it doesn't give him the right to be a jerk. So I love that, because it was just like he's like, she's out there fighting for your kids and you're bawling her out, you know? So, it's true. And that's older than me. That show's older than me. So, but more than 50 years ago. So, but yeah, it's never been an easy job. It's never been an easy job, but February 3rd, 2026, it's harder than ever. So, thank you. Thank you for fighting for our teachers. Thank you for what you're doing. And, so where do people go? If I know you said, teach in the peach.
Teach in the peach.
Teach in the peach.
Teach
Yeah.
in the peach
But
is, yeah.
so where do people, you can please plug that again, but also where do people go to just find out more about you and about what's happening in Georgia?
So if they want to know a little bit more about me and my organization, Middle Georgia RESA, they can go to mgresa.org. And that is going to talk about all the things that we do at our RESA. Just like districts, all RESAs are kind of made differently. And what we offer we have some similarities, but we do offer some specialized things. So from there, they could kind of find me. I serve in a double role there. I'm also the assistant executive director for the organization. So,
Why am
I
I
wear
not
a lot of different
surprised?
hats. I wear a lot of different hats. But, but special education is still, my number one priority. And so that's one place. And then from there is a website that is my website for my GLRS that they could go in and kind of learn more about the work that we're doing. But of course, the Georgia Department of Education website also connects all of our websites from there. So if they typed in Georgia Learning Resources System, GLRS, Georgia, they probably could find all of
Gotcha.
the different GLRSs as well.
Well, I'll tell you, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show, Dr. James. I'm so impressed with what you guys are doing and your passion and just your willingness to come and talk about the amazing things that are happening in education where we're trying to support our teachers. And so thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, not us.
That's okay. That's
It's
okay.
only me. It's only me.
Okay. Well, God bless you. God bless your work, and have a great second semester.